Hello. Thank you for coming in again. And tell me about your day. How was your day today?
Well, it was okay until that kid come up to me and got in my space. I was just minding my business, going to class. Then he bumps into me and he was like, "Watch it." I was like, "Excuse me?" Like, "Watch it." I'm like, "No, you watch it." And then I blinked out for a moment, and I know, and we talked about this last week. 'Cause I go into a blank little state, and I get all flustered and annoyed, and I wanted to hit him, but I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him, but I tried to tell the teacher, but she didn't listen to me.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you being frustrated with with all these outbursts that you have and running into problems with other people. You seem to be frustrated to me.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this last week, where I get triggered when people don't listen to me
Mhm.
because the teacher, she didn't listen to me, and I was just trying to tell her what happened, my side of the story, and she just brushed me off. She was like, "Oh, you're just making things up again," or "Oh, oh, you're just being insensitive."
You
You know,
want people to listen to you.
right? Yeah. And I know that I come off sometimes being mean, and I always the angry person, but you know, just every once in a while, I mean, just a little bit.
Mhm. Do you perceive yourself as being mean? You said that you know you can be mean sometimes, and I wonder what that experience for you is. Other people perceive you mean, but what is that experience when you are mean to you?
I never thought about that before, honestly. I mean, I guess when I see other people perceive me as being mean, I think of it. I think they see me as being uh, kind of, I don't know, kind of like that rampaging monster type, throwing stuff, hitting walls, uh, cussing and fussing. But I think when I'm mean, I think I define it as being, I don't know how you describe it, like defending myself.
Mhm. You feel under attack when other people feel that you're mean. You're really just defending yourself.
Right. You know, I mean, I know we talked about this last week too about me and other people in my personal space, and I feel like I'm being under attack when people invade my personal space and and they don't like listen to me.
Yeah. You say that a lot, that people don't listen to you and that they invade your space. Um, and I wonder if you ever communicate that to them, that is what you're feeling. And
Well, yeah, I try to tell them. Like I said, I try to tell my teachers. I try to tell my parents. They just don't. I mean, I don't know how to communicate. I don't know other than, hey, listen to me. I don't know either other way of communicating that.
but you know what? Let's forget for now what other people perceive you. You know, I don't want you to perceive yourself as mean. I don't want you to perceive yourself as mean. So let's put that aside for now, and let's focus on what your experiences and all these things happen, what is what is that that you think that you describe it to me, saying that you feel that you're defending yourself, that you feel really under attack and you defend yourself. So, do you think there are any other steps that you could take to defend yourself other than what you're doing now, which other people perceive as mean? Is there anything that you can think of that maybe you could do to achieve the same result of communicating that you feel under attack or when you defend yourself?
I don't think I can. I've heard people say like take deep breaths and go for a walk, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I said all this last week, but there's just nothing that I can do differently. I believe that.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that uncle of yours, the one that you mentioned last time that he gets and he really can listen to you and you feel like he really gets you. What is that he does differently than other people?
I think. Well, I know he gives me what I want, uh, and I think that he does take the time to come see me, come visit me. Um, you know, he does things that I like to do. You know, it's not like, oh, I got to go run errands with my parents. I don't have to, or I have to go to school. I have to do something. I get to do what I want to do.
He really pays attention to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I guess you could say
So,
that he does it.
so do you do anything different with him to elicit that response from him? Do you think that you do anything different that allows him to pay more attention to you? You think?
I think I more, or a little more easygoing. I think that because he listens to me and doesn't like try to tell me what to do, I'm more willing to listen to him. I feel like he respects me.
Respect. That's a new word. That's a new word for us. And it seems like you want people to listen to you, um, not invade your space, but give you your own space, and you also want them to respect you. And since we cannot really control what other people do, right? We can only control what we do. I would like to focus on now. What is that you think you might be able to transfer from that relationship that you have with your uncle, where things do work well, where you are more laid back, as you put it, and easygoing, and in return he's respectful to you and he listens to you more. And I understand that you might feel that you can be more easygoing because he respects you and allows you to be. I get that. But let's focus on a little of what you could transfer from that relationship to other relationships in your life and pick just one thing, just one. You don't have to do more. Just one thing that with your interaction with other people, you could make for a week. Try to do every time you feel that they disrespect you or get into your space or they don't listen to you. Let's try together to pick something that you could pick from your relationship with your uncle that is working and transfer to your other relationships as well.
Uh, well, I think that I am patient with him. I think I give him more time. Um, and I think that if I could envision maybe the respect that he gives to me, I could probably give it back.
Very good. That's very good. So, what if for a week we try that every time someone is disrespectful of you and impatient with you and gets into your space, you give the same level, despite this person's behavior, you give that person the same level of leap of faith or goodwill, if you wish, that maybe this person isn't trying personally to insult you or disrespect you or be impatient with you. He's just having his own personal experience, okay? And you will stay, as you put it, patient with him, and you use that same patient and respectful attitude, regardless of what you're getting in the moment, and and just try that for 1 week. How that works? Do you think that you could commit to that, or would that be too difficult, or is it something that would interest you and you would like to try?
Uh, I mean, I could try. I know it would work though.
Okay, it sounds like it seems either too difficult or too vague for you. So let's be even more specific. Let's pick a person with whom you have frequently um, altercations with, okay? Your family, your friends, or someone that you often have confrontations with.
Josh at school.
Josh at school.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What does Josh do?
Oh, that's easy. He always comes up to me with that like that bossy look in his eyes, and he squints some, and then he's like has that that look about him, like he's better than you. So he'll puff out his chest, and he's like walking like a jock at school, like a typical jock. And he has always like he owns everything.
Right.
He just has that you know that that presence with him. And it just drives me crazy. He always wears the most expensive stuff. He always wears, you know, the, the new Nikes, the new Jordans, and and he just thinks he's all that.
He makes you feel small and then hurts your feelings.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
Small
not
would be the
small, but what I mean is that I hear you say that he's arrogant and he tries to make you feel that you are not as good as he is, and that makes you feel hurt or angry.
right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, okay. And how do you usually respond to that behavior that he exhibits?
I usually just go up to him and confront him. I mean, as soon as I try to avoid him, but as soon as he comes up to me, I just come up to him, and the usual, blank out happens, and
Right.
teacher gets involved, and then
Okay.
it's not good.
And that usually leads to a greater confrontation or an escalated situation. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. See? Yeah. Teacher comes in. I try to tell my story. She triggers me.
Right. Okay. Then tell me what tell me what you think that you could maybe do differently with this, with Josh specifically, in this specific situation, that maybe help not to escalate the situation. Is there anything you can think of that you would like to try to do and you could do, that might help?
Well, I don't want to be angry at him. I don't want to have that feeling like that frustration. I don't want that. I when I see him, I want to be able to like control it.
Hmm.
I don't want it, that frustration to just be like a fire and just burst out.
Right. And is there anything you could do, you think, to achieve that?
Well, I can avoid them, but I think that if I try to maybe not feel so arrogant, I don't know.
Let's try this differently then. Do you think when Josh does that, do you think that he's just going on his way and he's just like that, and he doesn't actually try personally to insult you, or do you think that he specifically and really personally wants to hurt you?
I think when he's far away, he doesn't. I think only time I feel it when he's near me.
Right.
Um, but no, I don't think he purposely tries to do it. But I do think
Yeah.
only when he's nearby.
Right. So what would you say if I suggested that maybe let's try for 1 week? Do you first of all, do you meet Josh every day or frequently at school?
Yeah, we have all the same classes together.
Right. So what would you say if I suggested that for a week, every time you meet him and he begins to walk to you and feels all, you know, jockey and all that, um, what if you tell yourself that, okay, well, this is just Josh and he is Josh and he doesn't really mean to piss me off. He's just like that, and I will just ignore that. And if he tries to pick at me, then I will just ignore that too, because I don't think he really tries to hurt me per se. I think he's just an idiot or whatever he is. You're welcome to attach any label to it if you wish. But it is not about you. That it's not about him trying to hurt you. He's just being who he is. Do you think that if you approached it that way, if you told yourself that way, do you think that might make you feel different in the situation?
So if I think about ignoring him, then that would work. Um, it may be hard for me, but I think I can do it.
Right. You, I mean, how do you think that would feel to you if every time you see Josh just for a week, if you try to tell yourself, if he's approaching that, it's all right, Josh is just being Josh, and he doesn't mean any personal harm to me by it, and you give him that benefit of doubt that he's not actually trying to hurt you, he's just being his usual self. Do you think do you think that would create any difference in how you feel? And if so, then how do you think you would feel?
I think I would be like standing still when he comes. I think I would be completely on one hand. I think I would be like wanting to hurt him, but at second, and on the other hand, I think I wouldn't want to hurt him. So I think I'll just be like standing still.
Right. So that sounds like it
But
wouldn't really work for you all that great, is it? You don't seem very enthusiastic about it. So, okay, that's all right. That's you don't have to be. We can try to think of something else. Um, Describe to me again what feelings you have when you have these altercations with Josh. What is that you think sets you off? What is what happens in the moment when what you described you just sort of explode or you lose it. I think you said went ballistic. I think that was the expression we used. Um,
well, it's like my muscles kind of tense up. My stomach kind of feels like it pushes in work. Um, then it doesn't happen like immediately, but it's like a ticking time bomb. Like just slowly, you know, I guess the gears in my head start to turn just a little bit, and then boom.
right,
So I think there is like a couple of seconds before I go off.
right, right.
Uh,
Okay. Well, everything you described to me is kind of physical. It seems so. Maybe we could approach this from a physicality perspective. And is there anything that you might think of that could you mentioned breathing, and I presume you then tried that. Did that help at all when you try to breathe and and control your anger that way? How that worked out for you?
it did not work out at all.
It did not work out at all.
But I did. I remember. Uh, I know, like once I like kind of release my aggression,
Right,
it kind of helps me a little bit.
right, right. Um, well, I, you don't know this about me, but I come from a theater background, and in theater they believe that often confrontation results in from a power struggle, and that um, believe it or not, that a posture, how someone holds himself and its spine and just the entire posture, that has a whole lot to do with how empowered you feel. And I'm wondering that if you, I don't know how you feel, and you tell me how you feel when Josh approaches you, but it seems to me that in those moments when he approaches you, you don't feel particularly powerful, and I imagine that doesn't make you feel very good, right?
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong about that. And I mean, how? Let me ask you rather. How does it feel to you when he approaches you, other than feeling anger?
It does make me feel kind of powerless. I mean, it feels like a giant shadow's over me sometimes when he's
Right,
approaching. So I guess that's why I kind of blink out and burst out and do
right,
what I do.
right. So do you think that if you try that every time you see him approaching, instead of crawling into a shell and feeling already defensive or in the mode of you need to defend yourself, is going to attack you, what if you physically, regardless of how you actually feel, what if physically you said, okay, I'm going to stand up now and I'm going to really straighten my back and hold my spine straight, and I pretend that I'm power personified, if that makes sense. Um, how do you think that would make you feel? If do you think that would help at all?
I think that would help.
No.
I think that would help.
Do you think we could try that for a week? That every time you see him, you straighten up, you pull your shoulders down, and you put your chin up, and you really stand straight, and you just you know, you project yourself as powerful, and you feel that power embodied. And let's see if that will change how he perceives you and how he reacts to you, and also how you feel about the whole situation. Could you do that, you think? Could you commit to that?
I can give it a try. I can give it a try.
Okay.
So say
Okay.
if I stand up straight, hold my posture up,
Right, right.
stick up my chin,
Right.
and then just
The trick is that you like you try to imagine your spine as a very straight line, and your shoulders down, kind of back but down, and you take a deep breath, and you imagine that you in your chest and in this area you hold all the power that you are, and in theater, that, believe it or not, that many very very prominent actors believe that once they achieve that, that gives them the calm and self-confidence that they can approach any role, and it also changes how the other person responds to you, because the second they perceive you that way, they will think about it twice whether you know, they will go and so we don't know if it's going to work, but I think that it may be worth a try, but only if you attracted to the idea. And it sounds like I certainly saw that you seemed more enthusiastic about it than the other.
I like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
this one. I think
Okay.
this one
Okay.
works.
Okay. So let's try that. And I do would like to pick something else that you will practice this coming up week. And based on things we discussed so far, tell me if you have any ideas that you might enjoy trying that might help you.
Uh, well, let's see. I think I don't know if I feel like I just hit something, I'll be good. Just once a week, if I could just hit something, I
Right.
think that would help.
Well, have you tried boxing ever, or have you given the punch bag or anything like that? The most obvious choices.
No, not really.
Would you
I
like
don't.
to try that?
I know, like boxing. Yeah, I think punching the bag would be fun.
Right. Well, let's start small, okay? so
Uh,
so
uh, uh,
yeah, maybe we could try that. Maybe get a punch bag, and I don't know your schedule, but you tell me what part of the day you think that would be the most calming to you. But maybe just take 5 minutes. Come on, just 5 minutes a day, and punch that bag with all you have. Would you do it? You think?
I think once I get like the stuff, like the boxing glove and the bag, I think if I can do it, is it 5 minutes a day? I think probably like 15 minutes. I think I can
Yeah, well,
do
if you
like
punch it real fast, I'll try this,
30
and I
minutes
think
a
you will find that 5 minutes is a long time because I've done it. That's
day.
that's a pretty good workout. Um, but and anything between 5 and half an hour, I think you can, the more,
Okay.
whatever you feel. It's just commit to it that at least it has to be 5 minutes. Don't quit even if it's tiring, or even if and it has to be regular. It has to be done every day. You think you would commit to that?
So let me make sure I hear. So if I think I would enjoy doing that.
Right.
5 minutes of hitting, use my fist, boxing.
Or
Then
15, I'm not going to withhold you. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
I think I like that. I think that would work.
Well, we picked two specific goals for you that seems like you like, and I don't know if you noticed, but both are physical things. So for the next session, I do would like you to think about that. That maybe doing physical activities is something that actually could help you more if you incorporated it into your life, because based on what you told me about hobbies, none of them included that so much. And those things that you seemed excited this time had to do with your body. So just give it some thought. You know how that might how physical activities might make you feel better in various ways for the next time you meet. Do you have any questions before we end today, or any concerns that you would like me to know about?
Uh, so I supposed to one thing I'm gonna try is I'm gonna try to straighten myself, feel the power, and I'm going to try to punch five 5 minutes a day.
Right, right. And you know what? Before we end, because we have to end very soon, but before we end, I actually would like to try one of these with you, not the punching, the other one. Okay? So,
Oh,
so I would like. I know you can't stand on where you are because people might look at you funny, but I want you to sit very straight and close your eyes, and I will just talk to you. And I would like you to imagine that there is a string on the top of your head and it pulls you upwards, up, all the way as much as you can, and that will straighten your spine, you see. And then roll back your your shoulders, I'm sorry. Roll back your shoulders and keep them down, and take 3 deep breaths, okay? And imagine that you have this really massive wide chest on which you can hold up anything, all your problems, any weight, and you don't even feel it because they're massive and they're powerful, and all that power is you. So 3 deep breaths.
I like it.
Okay, you like that? Yeah.
I like it. I feel the power.
Good, good. And this is something that if you want to, you can also practice any other time when you feel a little stressed, or when you want to feel confident and powerful, okay? Well, thank you very much for coming in today. And I really appreciate you being so just wonderfully, straight and responsive and telling me everything. And I really appreciate that, okay? And good luck today with your exercises, okay?
Okay. See
Take
you
care.
next week.
See you next week.